guys for coming out. I know the weather has not been great, but we appreciate you guys coming out and supporting the Braves and supporting this type of thing. We have two special guests. First of all, I'm Nick Green with Bally Sports, and then we have two more special guests than I am. Michael Harris. And Jarred Kelenic. So we're going to do a little interview with me and these two guys, and then we're going to have a question and answer at the end. So if you have any questions, think about them, and hopefully we can get to you. I know that we probably won't be able to get to everybody, but think of some good questions for these two guys. First of all, you guys, the offseason is long. You have to play a long season. You start in February, and you end in October, sometimes late October. How's this offseason been for you, Michael?
All right. For me, it hasn't been the greatest because the weather here has been bad. I guess everybody here knows that. So it's been pretty cold. I had a few days outside working out, but it's been all right, I guess, because of the weather.
Jarred, I know that your offseason's been a little bit crazier than Michael's, although he did get engaged. So congratulate Michael on being engaged.
Thank you.
But Jarred, for you, obviously you get traded over to Atlanta. Some of the people in here haven't heard you react to that. What was your first reaction to it, and kind of what was the thought process of how this organization works from the outside looking in?
Yeah, I got a phone call first week of December, and they told me that I was going from Seattle to come here, and I've heard nothing but great things about this organization and like the fans here. So I gotta say, I've never done anything like this before. Like I haven't had a fan fest or any of that, but what was super cool was seeing all you guys come out there, and like the weather was trash, but you guys no, but seriously, you guys came out and supported us, and that's so cool. Like I can feel the energy already, and I've only been here so I appreciate it.
Well, there's plenty more energy to come, and when you see this place on a Friday night, Saturday night, it's insane. So that's something to look forward to. But Michael, I know that you've worked on some things in the past. In the off season, that's the time that you work on things. Anything that you learned from last year that you're trying to work on this year?
I would say a lot of my work comes from spring training. I guess I can't really work on much because it's not, I guess, live, or all I can do is, I guess, hit soft toss or hit BP off the arm. But, I mean, there's obviously stuff you want to work on, but I wouldn't really know what physically has changed with me until I get to spring training.
Jarred, I know you had a kind of a breakout year last year. Anything that you want to kind of keep going?
Yeah, this off season for me, I've kind of shortened things up a little bit just to give myself a better chance to be more consistent. I've had a lot of ups and downs when I was over in Seattle, and I had a decent start to the season, first month or two, and then it was downhill from there. I didn't do well after that, but this offseason I've been working on just being more consistent so that I can come out here and have, the 2 months that I had to start the season last year, I can have that hopefully for an entire year.
Speaking of outfield, these guys are obviously going to be in the outfield. This could be one of the best outfields in the game. We hope it does. It is. With these two guys, and then obviously the MVP, Ronald Acuna, in right field. When you think about great outfielders, you and I have seen Andrew Jones for a long time. Anybody in particular stand out for you guys, past or present, outfield-wise, Michael, that you just love to watch play?
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to be able to watch Andrew play here and his whole career. My favorite player was Ken Griffey Jr., so I got to, I guess, enjoy that a little bit and watch his highlights and try to, I guess, live up to what he did. So those are two really good center fielders that I guess paved the way for me.
Jarred?
Yeah, I'm a big Mike Cameron fan. I got to know him. He lives here, but I got to know him. He was our outfield guy over in Seattle, and just an all-around great dude, but taught me a lot, just first step stuff, and super athletic. And I grew. He was in Milwaukee for a little bit, so probably him.
He was an animal. He's a good dude too. So if you guys see him around here, he's a fantastic guy. Go up and talk to him. When you think about outfield play, I was an infielder, so I love infield work. I did play a few games in the outfield. I made an error in one of those games. It wasn't great, but outfield-wise, who's influenced you the most as far as, something they said to you that's helped you become a better outfielder? Jarred, you got one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Let Michael think for a second.
A bit awkward, right?
Hey, when I ask you a question, you're supposed to answer it.
Well, I'll start off. The biggest thing is really for my outfield work or even in the batter's box, the biggest thing is just having confidence in it, because you start to doubt. If you have any self-doubt in anything that you do, that's usually when stuff goes south and you start to make errors. So, there's been a lot of times where a ground ball has been hit to me hard, and there's a split second where I'm like, ooh, I could duff this, and then it goes right under my glove and goes to the wall. So, just getting rid of that doubt entirely and just going, 110% at it and making sure that you're thinking ahead, that's been the key for me.
All right, I got my
You
answer.
got one? Oh, good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was just somebody specifically that said anything, but growing up here, I always looked up to Jason Hayward. He played in this organization, came through the same spot I came from. So just watching him come through this organization, I do the same thing, is a huge inspiration for me.
Any advice that you would give to any young outfielder, something that might kind of get them going in the outfield? I know that there are different ways to kind of treat the outfield, seeing the ball, reacting too fast, maybe something to look at when they are playing outfield, some sort of suggestion to help them become a better outfielder.
Yeah, I say basically what Jarred said. Always have confidence. Don't doubt yourself. As soon as you doubt yourself, this game will beat you up, because it already does it when you're confident. So just stay confident. Continue to get the reps and try to, I guess, be your best self while doing the reps.
Jarred, anything that you've done to kind of help you separate offense and defense? We all go through slumps. It's just part of the game. But we have to try to find some way to separate the outfield play versus the hitting side of it. Anything that you've done to kind of help you out with that?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just my preparation, because the more you practice at something, the more you kind of take pride in it. And so I've been taking a lot of time focusing on my outfield drills, throwing the bases, making sure that I'm accurate, just so that, if my bat isn't showing up, at least I can prevent runs or make a diving catch or something like that. So having that sense of pride of, not only on offense but on defense as well, that's the easy way to separate it.
Michael, you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I would just say offense and defense, I just feel like I'm two different players. I don't try to take what I did at the plate to the field, or what I did in the field to the plate. So it's just trying to, I guess, separate that and know you have two different jobs to do at separate times, and just trying to help the team as much as possible.
And you guys put a lot of work into outfield play. You put a lot of work into hitting. Power shagging, is that something that you guys do, and is that something that's probably the most helpful as far as reading baseballs? Michael?
Yeah, definitely coming up through the minors, you get to do it a lot more. But coming up here, you playing 162 games. You probably wouldn't do it every day, but yeah, it's definitely good to get out there at least a couple times a week and see it off the bat and get some good reads, because 162 games is no joke, and you're not gonna put your body on the line to do that every day.
Jarred, you power shag a lot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously going off what he said, it's tough to do it for 162 games straight, but there's so much good that comes out of it in terms of just being super aggressive and understanding what you can and can't get to. You try, especially during power shag, and going and trying to get everything, because that's when you can learn, and so then when the game comes, it's pretty easy.
You mentioned throwing to the bases. Is that something that you do a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I try to do it once a series. Obviously, again, 162, it's tough. You got to take care of your body, and but you could throw 180 miles an hour with your arm, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn, you're kind of useless. So for me, it's trying to be able to be accurate, and I'm not really worried about how hard I throw, but if I can put it on his chest every time, at least I got a chance.
Michael, you throw to bases a lot when the season starts?
Yeah, during the season, same thing he said. Just at least once a series, get a feel for the field, how the weather is, I guess how you feel that day. Yeah, just trying to hit your target. Don't try to gun everything down. That's where you get a little reckless, but just try to be precise.
And when you go to different cities and you play in different fields, you're going to have to play in this park now. It's going to be a little bit different. How do you guys adapt to that? I mean, there are different angles and different measurements on every single field. Jarred?
Yeah, well, like the biggest one that I remember is like Fenway, right? Like I was in left field and the monster's no joke. Like it's right in your back pocket and there's ridges all along the wall. So if it hits it in a specific spot, it could kick right or left. So a lot of times what we do is, at least what I've done in the past is when we come into a new city, get there early, especially on the first day of the series, and have our outfield coach, somebody hit line drives off the wall and just kind of feel it out because it's always different. Like you have padded walls, the ball will die. If it's harder, it'll bounce off like pretty quick, especially with those ridges. Houston's tough because it's got a short porch, but then it dives straight back, so you got to be conscious of that. So it's just like, and then power shagging too. Like it's the same thing as usually like that first game of the series, you got to take it pretty seriously and get like an understanding of where you're at.
Michael, you got any parks that kind of gave you a hard time?
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of them are different. There's not a lot that are the same these days, and there's different cuts and different places where fences stop and start, and I guess the material to be padded, got ivy, you got the bricks. It's pretty tough, and a lot of people can get I guess hurt if you don't prepare the right way and know where you're at.
I think the other thing too that like people don't understand is the grass. Like you play in San Diego, it's like a putting green. Like they hit a ball through the infield and they could get to the wall. So like understanding like how the grass plays is a big thing. Or another thing too that people don't understand is the way the guy cuts the grass. If he cuts it crisscross, when that thing's coming to me, it's gonna be going like this. So like you have to, when you go to the field, you got to see it like how did he cut it? How short did he cut it? And then look at, do I have a dome? Is the wall big? Is it rock solid? Like there's a lot you have to like factor into. So you just hope that the guy cut it in straight lines so it's coming nice and easy. You know what I'm saying?
So anytime you guys see them slow up for a ball, that's why they're slowing up. You have to slow up to catch it first. Favorite ballpark, Jarred?
Probably Wrigley.
Truist.
Well, this one's definitely up there. I had to say Wrigley because I grew up right around there, but I'm excited to play here for what it's worth.
Michael, any park other than Truist?
Yeah, I really enjoy. I really enjoy PNC. It's nice scenery. I guess it's decent vibes out there. I mean, it's just a nice field. It's different, has different angles and stuff, so I like that.
That's one of the best ballparks too. If you guys get to go to any ballpark you want to go to, check that one out. When the sky's right, it's ridiculously gorgeous. So go there if you can. Another good one, Fenway. If you can go there and watch a Braves Red Sox game, awesome. Last year, we had a ton of Braves fans in Fenway, so you guys supported them on the road too. As far as robbing guys, I know you hear a lot of, would you rather rob a guy or hit a home run? Well, I've got something. Would you rather rob a guy of a base hit or throw somebody out?
Well, I guess it depends if there's guys on base or not. But I will say that there's nothing better than when like some dude hits a ball off the wall and he thinks it's a double and he turn around and just whip a one-hopper on the bag. And he's got to run all the way back to the dugout after he just busted it to second base. So I would say throwing somebody out.
Michael, we've seen you do both in one play. I think you guys remember that play in the postseason. But for you, which one is more satisfying?
I'm gonna go a different route because he gave you a perfect analogy of that. So definitely taking away a hit. Somebody thinks they have a for sure hit, and you just come out of nowhere and snag it from them, and they, just like you said, have to run right back to the dugout thinking they had a hit. So yeah, I'll say taking the hit away.
Analytics is a big part of the game now. They tell you guys where to play, but is there still that element of the game where it's like, okay, I see this swing, looks like he's going to stay inside of it. Maybe the analytics say stay here, but see it with my own eyes. I move a little bit. Is that still part of the game for you guys?
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have to do that. If you don't, you kind of lose, I guess, the player in you and just having instincts for the game. You can't fully go off of, I guess, the analytics and not knowing yourself and trusting your gut feeling to play in this game that you've always played. So, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can distinctly remember an at-bat one time when I was in the outfield where I really had to use kind of the feel. Miguel Cabrera was up, and he was facing a guy in Seattle throwing 100. And they were telling us, like, pull on him. And I'm like, this old goat can't get up to that. He can't get 100, right? And I remember the first pitch fastball, I'm watching him, like, he just would carve it, foul ball. He's trying to keep his hands inside. I'm like, they're telling me to pull, but I know this dude's trying to hit the ball the other way. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay the other way. Next pitch, carved it, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. Finally hits a rocket right to me, and I had been playing in the opposite gap. So it's like one of those things, you're just trying to pay attention to what they're trying to do. And, like, I've known Miguel Cabrera. I've watched him for years. Everybody has. Like, he's so good at going the other way. So just having that feel, like, the analytics will say one thing, but, like, the game will tell you what you need to know.
Speaking of great players, we get to watch one every day besides Michael. He's a fantastic player too. But we have the MVP in right field, and Ronald Acuna. How excited are you to play with him and kind of see what he does every day up close?
Yeah, I mean, not only Ronald, just like the whole lineup, like 1 through 9. I mean, I'm so excited to be a part of this team, and you have so many talented guys that I can learn from, and I'm just looking forward to being a sponge and, like, picking up on little things, but also, like, at the same time, you know, being the player that I am. I think that's something that I'm really excited to do here and, you know, play in front of you guys.
For you, Michael, being a part of this lineup and playing every day, you came on the scene, won Rookie of the Year. Not expected, I don't think, but it was an awesome thing. You were competing with Spencer Strider. But this lineup, every single day, how do you guys get used to greatness on a daily basis like that?
I don't even know if we're used to it yet, but yeah, there was times last year where me and Spencer were in the dugout trying to figure out how we score 5 runs in the first inning, and I come up and the starting pitcher's not in anymore. So now I got to go through my whole game plan again, and yeah, this lineup is crazy. I get to hide at the bottom and I guess do a little bit of damage and nobody notices. So yeah, it's just incredible to be able to watch what they do, and I'll just try to stay at the bottom and sneak my hits.
You can't always stay at the bottom. Sometimes you got to move up. As far as outfield plays, any drills that I see a lot of young kids in here. Any drills that young kids could do to try to make themselves better in the outfield?
The first one is like tennis ball drills and like no glove, just bare hand stuff, working on like just hand-eye coordination, being comfortable, taking your eye off the ball. That's the biggest thing is, you know, a lot of people, I see a lot of young guys, when they take their eye off the ball, they panic, like, because they can't see it. But, I mean, a high fly ball, you got about 6 seconds to dance around and say a prayer and then catch it, you know? So, like, just because you take your eye off it, that ball's still going up in the air. You got time. And so the biggest thing is being comfortable, you know, being uncomfortable taking your eye off the ball. That's the biggest thing.
Michael, you got anything for them?
Yeah. Basically what he said, and doing like 45-degree angles, just working on getting a good jump and knowing your angles. And I guess the most important thing, you got to get your reps during BP, because that's when you, I guess, get the most realistic live read.
What are you guys looking forward to the most about this upcoming season? I know that you've been spoiled, 2 straight division titles since you've been here. But it's not that easy. It's just not that easy. So what are you looking forward to the most about this season, Michael?
Doing it again, I guess, and playing in front of Braves country.
Yeah. Jarred, I know you're excited about this too.
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty self-explanatory, like just being a part of a new team, a new city. I needed a fresh new start, and so far it's been smooth sailing, and I just can't wait to get to work here.
Last question, and then we'll open up to audience questions. Who's the best player in the game right now, in your opinion, Jarred? Michael, you got one?
I would just say there's a guy, he plays right field.
That's what I wanted to hear.
He's number 13. And I get to watch him play every day, so I would say that guy.
So
Yeah, it's tough for me because like I obviously
seen him as much.
well, yeah, I haven't seen him a lot, but obviously he's incredible. A guy that I've seen like quite a bit like is a healthy Otani. Like
I would say
I
that,
think
too.
that's like the other guy that comes to mind because like I mean I've seen that guy. Have faced him and then I've been on defense when he's hitting. So like I've seen both sides of it. I've seen him when he's healthy, and like that dude's no joke.
Yeah.
So we are ready for questions. Do we have any microphones out here first? Okay, we got a microphone right here.
This is Sound Effects 09 here. This question's for Jarred Kelenic. Kelenic, I know you've had quite the rough journey through the majors. You started off with the New York Mets, but let's be real, Braves fans, low Mets. And then you had a couple years in Seattle, tried to get your footing there, but just didn't pan out. My question for you is, what can you bring to the Braves here in Atlanta that you couldn't previously do in, say, Seattle or somehow New York?
Yeah, I would say to answer your question, I'm going to be able to be myself, kind of be the player that I was meant to be. I think I've already noticed just with the guys in the clubhouse, just super welcoming and allowing you to feel comfortable being yourself. And, full transparency, like I never really felt that way when I was over in Seattle. New York was I was there for like 2 months. Like I wasn't even really with them. But like, I think that being just that comfortability factor is going to be really huge for me. And so, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to hit 40 home runs and hit 110 RBIs, but I'll tell you that I'll play my ass off and be a good player to watch.
As a runner, nutrition while I run is super important. So I was wondering if during the game, do you guys have any specific nutrition, or do you guys just like live on sunflower seeds?
And bubble gum too.
Yeah, I kind of alternate between two, so yeah, it's really healthy.
I'll usually, like, especially I'm gonna have to do it here because it's so hot and humid in the summer, is like making sure I'm on top, like eating a banana or something. I feel like, I mean, I've never played in this heat, so I'm gonna have to learn. But yeah, taking care of your body's most important.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard you were a card collector because I heard you were at the Culture Collision show. What's your best card you have?
I wouldn't say I'm a card collector. I was there, but best card. I guess I made a trade yesterday for a Freddie Freeman card. I don't know what kind or whatever, but I know Freddie Freeman meant a lot to me when he was here, so I would say him, yeah.
What do you do when like the crowd's yelling at you?
Is it a good yell or a bad yell?
Either.
Wait, you said either?
Either. Yeah.
If it's a bad yell, just yell back, and if it's a good yell, you just take it in and show love.
My question's for both y'all. I was wondering, why did y'all start playing baseball and who encouraged you during it?
I was too young to even know what it was when I started. So my dad put me in baseball, and ever since then, he's been my, I guess, inspiration and encouragement.
Yeah, mine's pretty similar. My dad got me into it probably when I was like 6, and I like swinging the bat, so I had a lot of fun doing that.
This one's for both of you. If you were to play any other position, what would it be?
I would be on the mound. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'd probably be on the mound too.
How do you take that transition from Seattle to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think it's more so just I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, just like a comfortability thing. It's the same game, different city, new fans, so there's a lot of things to be excited about. But for me, it's just continuing to be the player that I am, the person that I am, and at the end of the day, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, I just wanted to see have you had any major adversity or problems during your career or during your upcoming, and then what did you do to overcome those problems or setbacks along the way?
Did you see my first year?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess mine was last year. I had some early struggles and then some injuries, and I just had to build my confidence back up to, I guess, get to who I am, and that's how that went. So yeah.
For me, it was kind of just understanding that, like, I took everything to heart. Like, baseball was like my entire life. It was my identity. It was who I was. And then once you get kicked in the teeth like that, you start to understand that, like, it's not who you are. Like, there's more to life than just baseball. And so then I started to lean on, like, putting more effort into who I was as a person. And then once I kind of fixed my life and got my life together, like, baseball became more fun, and that was, like, the key for me.
I got a question for you, Michael. How did you feel when you turned the triple play in Fenway?
I only did half the work. I felt good. I got the double play, but Olsen and Riley got the triple play. So it was an equal share. So it was good.
All right, Harry. Go.
So this is my son and his best friend. They both play baseball. They too shy to ask a question, so I told them I'd ask a question. And Michael, you're his favorite player.
Thank you.
What would you tell them when people tell them they can't make it to where you at?
That people told us the same thing, and we're sitting here in front of you today. So it's just having self-confidence and believing in yourself, and I guess sticking to your plan and just believing in your ultimate dream.
So, Michael, this is a question for you. As a kid who grew up in Stockbridge, how does it feel to play for your hometown team?
It's feeling unmatched. I just feel like I left the stands and walked right onto the field with my jersey on, and I get paid to do it, I guess. So it's
Hey there, guys. How's it going?
good.
Hey, so quick question for both of y'all. Michael, since you've played here, I've been to a lot of games. I've noticed, I played outfield through college too, that there are certain like launching pads, like right field in Truist is a launching pad. It seems like the ball travels way further in right than like in center and left. So my question is, if like a ball was hit 380 to center, how far do you think it's going to right field? Like what's the feet difference you think?
380. It's touching the chop house for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works because you can hit it the same velocity and I guess expected distance to center, and it'll be way further and right. I don't know. It's weird. I don't hit it to right field. I try to stay the other way, so I don't really know what the chop house is all about until Oli comes up and hits a 500-foot nuke. So I'll stay the other way.
Jarred, did you have any places in Seattle that were like that too? Kind of launching pads?
Yeah, no, Seattle was statistically, it was the worst stadium to hit in just because it was, like, super deep and they had this marine layer, like, whole 9 yards. But I have played in fields just like that where there's one portion of the field where the ball just flies. So if that's right field here, well, then we'll just have to give it a shot.
Michael, this question for you. How did you get the name Money Mike?
Money Mike. Yeah. Twitter. I made it my handle, and I guess it stuck. Yeah, a coach used to call me Money Mike, and I made it my handle. It stuck, and you guys love it, I guess. So I guess I'll keep it going.
This is for both of you. Who can you always count on to play a prank on you?
Orlando Arcia. Yes. Him and Ozzy, they're like a duo who will do anything, anytime. So you gotta beware. You two, beware.
Yeah, I haven't been here long enough, so we'll see. Ask me in like 6 months, and I'll tell you.
So guys, there are a bunch of kids here. So for those kids that may feel like their parents are obligated and like, Mom, Dad, you have to support me. You're my parents. Then who is somebody in your life other than your parents that you feel was influential in your life and made an impact towards your step towards baseball and where you are today?
That's deep. I don't know. You got it. I'm still thinking. I'll just say it could be a combination of people. I guess your little village that has kind of helped raise you as well. It could be a teacher, could be a coach, just somebody you ran into. That's a good question. Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation and the person.
For me, I would just say like I got a good group of friends, tight knit group, and they've supported me since day one. I was a high school draft pick, so it was a little bit different than most. I didn't go to school, and where I'm from, there's not a lot of kids that get drafted out of high school. I'm from Wisconsin. It's a cold weather state, so when I had made that decision to do that, it's kind of an intimidating thing at first because you're 18 years old, you get thrown into the real world real quick. But my friends always had my back and always supported me through the ups and downs. And even when I went through my ups and downs in the big leagues, like those guys are always there for me and would call me and check in. So definitely those guys.
How many years have you been playing baseball?
Great question. 18 years, I think.
19 years. 22.
Well, I've been playing longer than you then.
I started when I was 3. So.
Oh. All right, well, 20.
This question's for you, Michael. Who talks the most smack on the team?
Ozzy Albies. And Orlando Arcia.
Hello, this question is for Michael. I came today with my entire family. I have grandchildren here, and one of my grandchildren caught a towel from the new pitcher, and she lost it. And I was wondering if either one of you would autograph my shirt so I can give it to her.
What do you got?
Sign the shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll sign your shirt, but probably not afterwards. Yeah.
Madison, can we do it? Okay.
This question's for both of you. How's it feel to hit a home run?
Depends who it's off of.
Yeah. I guess it always feels good because you're putting runs on the board, but obviously some of them feel better than others depending on the score, the game. I don't hit as many as nearly anybody on this team, so I don't get to speak on home runs. I'll stick to doubles or singles. But yeah, it always feels good.
It's kind of like an out of body experience. Like you know, I grew up just outside Milwaukee, so I went to Brewers games all the time, and guys would hit home runs, we'd all go crazy, and then all of a sudden, like before you know it, you're that guy, and it's like everything goes dead silent when you're running on the bases, and then once you step on home plate, it's surreal.
If you make an error, how would you make it up?
Try to hit a home run.
Yeah, go deep.
All right, this is the last question.
All right, I have a question for the both of you. You both had very similar trajectory through the minors, and I just wanted to know like what it was like when you got the call to come up to the majors, and like for you, Mike, like us three watched you in Rome, and so it's like crazy seeing you within a year and a half. We see you in Rome. You're, you know, at Truist playing. So just what was that process like of getting the call?
Yeah, I think it was pretty fun stopping in Rome. That was a fun time. Mississippi was fun. When I got the call, I actually told the manager that told me I was going that I'm not going because you're not lying to me. So I really didn't believe him when he first told me. It was kind of a crazy moment. All my teammates were in there jumping on me, so it was a great moment for sure, and I really took that in and I guess embraced my debut.
Yeah, when I got called up, I was ecstatic. I think one thing that really sticks out to me though was like, I mean, I'm sure you can attest to it, but like seeing your parents for the first time when you come off the field as like a major leaguer, like just like emotions are all over the place. So like that's something that I'll never forget is just seeing my parents for the first time.
Well, thank Michael Harris and Jarred Kelenic. Best of luck to you guys. Hopefully you have another great season.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.